My name is Donald Jolly. I have to remind myself sometimes. So this session is a very informal session. Basically, it's geared towards people that have never been to a network operator group. So event. On that, who's attending a NOG for the first time today? Great, so we have lots of NOG virgins here. It's great to see. Welcome everybody. I hope over the next 15 minutes or so you get a good idea of what happens and how you can make the most of the next few days and moving forward. So what is a NOG? It's one of those things that it has a very loose definition, but it's a network operator group. The focus, do we have something for the comfort screen here? Can we somehow get it there? Because my neck. See, this is why it's good to have this first session. You know, how's the streaming? I believe we're streaming as well. So the focus is on anybody that runs a network, like an ISP, a content provider, DNS operators. If you have an IP address on your network, chances are is that you will find it useful to be here. But also the building blocks, the resources that are required to run these networks, like data center operators, exchange points, and I don't know, somebody said that DNS is important. So NOG is usually locally focused. In the case of to a specific area. But they also operate in a wider regional area. When it comes to ZANOG, our focus is in South Africa, but we have people from all over the world here today and over the next few days. So it is really fantastic. As I say, it's usually quite informal. We like to believe that we're amongst friends here, and it's community focused. It's focused on the supporting the community. NOGs generally don't have any sort of affiliation, so to no political body, to no one company, organization. It's run by individuals. Individuals move from company to company, from organization to organization. So it's run by the individuals. So when it comes to ZANOG, what is ZANOG itself? Well, we're the South African version of a network operator group, and we're a non-profit, and we build we strive to build a better internet in South Africa by supporting the local individuals and the internet professionals in our industry. And we a technically driven organization. The presentations that you'll see today and tomorrow are all technically focused. We are network operator groups really do need the support of companies, and we thank our sponsors for that. However, when it comes up to the stage, we have a separate program committee that goes through all the presentations and makes sure that there's technical information there that's going to help anybody regardless of vendor. So specifically for ZANOG, we hold 2 to 3 small regional events within a region, so Durban, Johannesburg, South Africa, Johannesburg, Cape Town, and then we have an annual event once a year, like ZANOG 25. When it comes to the structure of it, we've been growing over the last couple of years, and it's been phenomenal. But we have an organizing committee and a program committee. These are very separate committees. The one is for organizing the event. The other one is for organizing the program. We have to talk to each other, but we don't have influence over each other. So the organizers, if you come to me as one of the organizers and you say, can you make sure that my presentation gets on the stage, I'll say, speak to the program committee. You know, we don't have a say on that. And then we have a technical team that ZANOG itself runs a couple of different programs that I'll get into now. So the ZANOG history, did I miss something there? No? Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we work with other NOGs around the world, and we sit alongside them. We don't compete with each other. There may be some people in the room that have been to a SAFNOG event, the Southern African Network Operator Group. They've been around for longer than ZANOG. Their idea was to help build the NOGs in Southern Africa. They did a fantastic job. Started in Johannesburg. Portia's not here or Mark. But they were one of the first NOGs in South Africa, and we realized that it was important to have more events specifically in South Africa, because we have a very vibrant industry. So the history, ZANOG started in KZN as KZN NOG. We had our first get together. Ed and myself decided that we needed an excuse to eat pizza and drink beer. And so we invited some people from around the industry, and we said, come, let's have a chat. You know, can somebody speak about something? Andrew, I'm not sure if you were at the first one. I've got bright lights on my face. But there was somebody else speaking about how to actually read a trace route. And it's still relevant today. So yeah, that was back in November 2017. We've had some local events. We had some local events in Durban, and then the guys in Gauteng and Cape Town, they were going, well, you know, show us a bit of love. So I said, well, Ed and I said, okay, let's organize a venue, you know, let's get it out there. And so then we had the WC NOG and the GP NOG were born out of that. And then it got a little bit confusing because there were all these different NOGs in South Africa. So we created a single umbrella organization in early 2023 that dealt with all the administration and things in the background so that we could run these local events and then the annual events. So we've had over 50, probably even 75 events, including training events, annual conferences, and yeah, the smaller local get-togethers. So what does ZANOG do? We organize conferences like this. The idea is that we create a platform so that people can engage with each other, they can share the information that they've learned, they can share problems, solutions that are happening in the industry, and network with each other on a social level. Yeah, so we organize training for individuals in the industry. We don't organize certifications for people to come from companies that want to make sure that they've got enough points to win a tender. Our idea is that we supporting individuals. So when people go, yes, you may have on your name tag that you're from this company, but the idea is that we are supporting by organizing trainings. We run a mailing list, Telegram groups, and a website. The Telegram group can be quite busy at times, but it's great to see the robust discussion that's happening. In 2019, I think it was, we started the CDN project in Durban. The idea there was because Durban doesn't get much love, except we see it now with everyone here. The content providers didn't think it was necessary to deploy any infrastructure in Durban, and so we said to the CDNs like Netflix and Google, Akamai, can we embed caches into our ASN and then serve that across the exchange point to the small ISP so that they don't have to pay for the expensive backhaul to Johannesburg. We then rolled that out to Cape Town as well, and doing well over 100 gigs of traffic each day, gigabits of traffic. The mirror project is a fairly new one, where we are mirroring Ubuntu, Debian, I think it is, Proxmox. Hendrik, you here? Anything else? Yeah. All the stuff is on our website. Yeah, and so then also there's some community network tools there. Yeah, we did have a B-test server for those people that use Microtech, and yeah, NTP servers, things like that. So what is special about a NOG? You know, so people go, okay, let's go to this event, and there are lots of industry events. But why attend a NOG? You know, what's in it for you? Why are you here? And as I've been saying, is that it's about driving. It's been driven by individuals, all right, and not corporations. So there's not this you know, greed that sometimes sets in with corporates, and we all come and are on an equal playing field. You know, there are some people that have just started in the industry that are here, and that is why we have the session before we actually formally start, and to get people to understand, you know, what this is about. So you might have just been starting in the industry, just put an IP address on a outdoor wireless unit. You come here, you're going to start to learn things. There are people here that have been in the industry, you know, since Noah laid the first cable off his ark, and so yeah, there are people that run huge networks, and we like to believe that those people can speak to each other because we all share the same passion for the internet and keeping it going. They're educational and technical. So again, getting back to the point that I was saying, we like to, the program committee always makes sure that the stuff that's put on the stage or on the screens is useful to you on a technical level, and not about what product you should buy next. They're local and by design focused on the issues that we are experiencing in our region. The things that are happening in another region at this particular point in time may not have an impact on us, or they may not be talking about it. So we have to have a platform that can have, that people can share these concerns. And they're neutral. I said before, we are not backed by, and generally speaking, NOGs, but specifically ZANOG, not backed by any political organization or government or companies. It is all run by individuals. So when you come to a NOG, the idea is that you see these presentations, which often have best practices in it. You can have conversations with people in the corridors about what things are happening in the industry, and some people that have been around for a really long time. Just hands up again, who's attending a NOG for the first time? Keep your hands up. Okay. So those people that, just keep your hands up. For those people that have attended a few NOGs, just look around there, see if you can have conversations with them, you know, during lunch or tea breaks or whatever the case is. Okay, you can put your hands down now. Other hand up? Okay. So yes, the idea is that everybody veterans, please welcome the newcomers and have conversations and make them feel welcome. So obtaining knowledge, that's why we're here. The knowledge may be from someone doing a presentation. and very often it's from the things that are happening in the hallway and the conversations that are happening in the hallway. So yes, you can, it's to keep up with the latest trends in the internet industry. Discuss current issues and challenges that we're facing. I think there's a very big elephant in the room, and we will get into that later in the during the day. And then it builds lasting relationships, which may be business, friendships, peering relationships, but those, because you are meeting people face to face, there's, and you start to meet them at other NOGs as you go along, you build trust with those people, and I think at the end of the day, if you meet somebody at a NOG and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you see they're phoning you, you're more than likely going to pick up the phone rather than even probably your own help desk, if it's been escalated to you. So the idea is that we each we're involved in networks. They are our own networks. However, as we all know, the internet requires every single network to work together, even though we are competitors from time to time, but we have to work together. So building those relationships are important. Right. So when it comes to the presentations, it's important to ask questions, right? There's all sorts of different sayings about, questions. The only silly question is the question not asked, and all those sorts of things. And so when you do have a question, there are 2 microphones. There's one over here and one over there. If you have a question, go stand at the microphone, line up behind each other if there are more than one. When you get there, please state your name, and if some of us wear 5 different hats from different organizations or things that we do, if it's relevant to that question, say what affiliation you have, and then make sure the microphone is on, and speak clearly and concisely and ask your question. It is important if you have any, it doesn't even have to be a question. If you have a comment, you're welcome to come to the microphone and share that comment. We are streaming. The microphones won't always be in the picture. So ensure that you state your name clearly every single time you come up, and then your question. Right, so we have long breaks. Our lunch is an hour and a half. That's by design. And the idea there is that you can spend time meeting new people and catching up with friends but the idea is not to go and sit at the same table as all your colleagues, because you can go do that at any luncheon. Try find a table somebody that you haven't met. As I said earlier, we all here because we're passionate about the industry. So even if you, obviously be polite, ask if you can join a table if you would like to have a conversation with someone. We have a meeting tool. There were a lot of late registrations. We'll import those into the meeting tool. But make use of the meeting tool. The bilateral rooms are across the way. Even if it's a 15-minute conversation just to introduce yourself, chat about anything. But we do have a meeting tool there so that you can get business done, whatever that looks like, peering agreements or, the next big deal. So meet.nog.net.za. Who are students in the room? That is a pity. There were a few students that have registered. Great, good. So, but even then, people that have just started in the industry, the people you see around you will probably be your next employer. All right? Because believe it or not, companies come to these sorts of events when they see people passionate and they get to know you. They might not even need to interview you. They'll say, we think that you're a good fit to join our organization. Would you like to do it? So just be aware of that. This is one of the things that is great about ZANOG. Then, get involved. Our sponsors have been fantastic, but we always have events coming up. There's a mailing list, join the mailing list. We have a Telegram general group, which is quite specific for emergencies. Then we have the discuss group, which is quite noisy. And then a new marketplace Telegram group for those people buying and selling stuff. Go to LinkedIn and follow on LinkedIn if that's what you do. Sorry, I'm not a social media person. Taryn, sorry. And I think what you need to do is that if you do post on LinkedIn, use a hash ZANOG25. Is that right, Taryn? Are you here? Hashtag ZANOG25. Thank you. All right. Attend events. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but you know, simply by showing up at events, you're showing your support for ZANOGs. Speak at the events. Now, it could be, it might feel quite scary, and it still is scary for me. I've done this a couple of times, and it's still scary for me to stand on the stage and speak. But at the small local NOGs, you're amongst friends. It's not being streamed at the local NOGs, and so you can practice speaking, and then from there, you know, you get better at it, and everyone has a story to share. So go. So you see, I needed to update the slides. I did update the slides, but they weren't sent there. So the other thing is, the program committee, as I said earlier, they are responsible for curating the agenda. If you would like to join the PC and be actively involved in the PC, send an email to pc@nog.net.za. Net.za, yes. And even if you're not sure, it's about mentoring people to take over, you know, as things go on. So we need more people to be actively involved in our program committee. And then all the information, we relaunched our website earlier this year in preparation for this event, and pretty much all the information is there. Then, yeah, so the other slide that's missing is the socials. When you come to events like this, there are typically socials. Tonight there's Beers for Peers. Terrico, NAP Africa is hosting Beers for Peers. Go to those events. That particular one is a separate registration. So yes, attend those socials, because that's when you really do get to know people. So with that, that is done. It's like I said, it's a newcomer session, so welcome to all those newcomers. At the registration desk, if you have any questions, please go to them, or find myself or Ed. We just want to welcome you and trust that you have a good few days. If there are any questions, please come up to the mic and